The Chiefs once again triumph over the Chargers in a nail-biting match, clinching victory with a doink field goal. While there's certainly some positive aspects such as Mahomes executing another game-winning drive, two players exited the game with questionable returns, both in positions that were already worrisome. I need to discuss that, along with the updates I have so far, key takeaways and highlights from this game, a recent signing made today amid injury worries, and more. But first, okay, let's dive right into this intense game, once again concluded in classic Chiefs style, leaving me completely speechless. LA won the coin toss and chose to defer. To kick things off, we saw the newly signed wide receiver Nico Remigio go out there and handle the kickoff returns alongside Shamaji Perine. Nico was promoted from the practice squad to the active roster over the weekend after it was announced that Mecole Hardman was being placed on injured reserve due to a knee injury. At this moment, we're unsure of the extent of the situation, but currently, he'll be out for the next 4 weeks, and Nico Remigio performed quite well in his first game. The main task is that he catch the ball in these punt returns and avoid fumbling like Kadarius Toney did for the Browns. On Sunday, Nico recorded 2 kick returns, 3 punt returns, accumulating 34 yards with the longest return of 21 yards, so I had to give him immediate recognition. Another player worth mentioning right away is DJ Humphries, the Chiefs' new left tackle, who is their third starting left tackle this season, and also made his debut last night after recovering from an ACL tear late last season. To be honest, he had a shaky start, but considering he had no training camp, no preseason, and perhaps only one padded practice before facing a tough challenge, it's pretty impressive. The Chargers defense is exceptional, currently the #1 scoring defense and possessing one of the best pass rushes in the league, making them a significant challenge for Humphries. This is why DJ Humphries allowed 8 pressures from 5 different defenders, as reported by Next Gen Stats. It's a mix of their skill, DJ Humphries shaking off the rust, and the growing pains that were honestly anticipated. However, what was unexpected was DJ Humphries having to leave the game early, late in the 4th quarter, due to a hamstring injury, which I'll discuss shortly. But before we delve into that, let's focus on the game itself. The opening drive ended after a difficult drop by Baylor Cupp, and if you're wondering who Baylor Cupp is, he's a tight end from the practice squad who was promoted for this game by the Kansas City Chiefs, as they only have 2 tight ends on the roster, which are Travis Kelce and Noah Gray, with everyone else on IR. Then on 3rd and 10, Mahomes was sacked when the offensive line broke down, leaving him with no options. This resulted in a 47-yard field goal by Matthew Wright, who is the Chiefs' 3rd kicker in about a month after both Harrison Butker and Spencer Schrader were placed on IR a couple of weeks apart. Following that field goal, Leo Chenal executed a perfect suplex on Gus Edwards during LA's initial offensive play, showcasing his impressive strength, one of the strongest players in the NFL. Turk Wharton then tackled Herbert as he attempted to escape the pocket, leading to a challenging 3rd and 16 situation. Naturally, they managed to convert. Quentin Johnston made the catch and absorbed a significant hit from Nick Bolton, managing to retain possession despite the contact. Bolton, who had led with his shoulder on the hit against the defenseless receiver, received a flag for a 15-yard personal foul penalty. Fortunately, a hold pushed him back 10 yards. Leo Chenal disrupted this screenplay, preventing Herbert from scrambling for the first down. Speaking of Herbert, he walked away from this play in pain. Having his ankle wrapped, it didn't seem to affect him for the remainder of the game. He suffered another injury, which we'll cover later, but at this moment there are no injury concerns to mention. A strong 13-yard screen to Hunt, together with a quick throw to D-Hop, helped move KC forward, but Mahomes was hit while throwing on back-to-back plays, resulting in their first punt of the night. Matt Ariza executed a beautiful punt that was down by Najee Johnson at the 2-yard line. However, it didn't matter because just a few plays later, a 38-yard pass to Joshua Palmer with Jaden Hicks in coverage quickly brought them to midfield. Johnston nearly fumbled on a screen pass but was ruled down, and Jalen Reagor was quickly tackled by Trent McDuffie on 3rd down, leading to another punt. The Chiefs managed only 5 plays for a total of 21 yards. Mahomes scrambled for 1 first down but was sacked on 3rd and 4 by Joey Bosa, marking another significant stop for LA's defense. After a bobbled punt that was recovered by returner Darius Davis, Herbert just missed a wide open Joshua Palmer deep downfield, which could have resulted in an 80-yard touchdown, but fortunately he overthrew him by about a yard. A deflected pass by Trent McDuffie during a blitz forced yet another punt for LA. Remigio made an impressive 21-yard punt return, providing Kelce with excellent field position, while Juju Smith was surprisingly overlooked in the corner of the field, allowing him to advance Mahomes' pass for 26 yards. However, Mahomes was sacked for the third time, this time by Derwin James during a blitz. He managed to get past both DJ Humphries and Isaiah Pacheco to take Mahomes down swiftly. That marked 3 sacks in quick succession during the game, but fortunately, that was the last time Mahomes was brought down. To be clear, he still faced numerous hits, totaling 14 in this game, but after 10 minutes remained in the second quarter, no further sacks occurred. Nevertheless, during this drive, the Chiefs reached the red zone but failed to convert on a 3rd and 5 at the 15, as Mahomes was, as expected, hit while throwing. Matthew then successfully kicked a 33-yarder, putting Kelce ahead 6-0. Darius Davis nearly broke free for a significant kick return but was stopped, and thankfully LA's offense was also halted when Vidal couldn't catch a quick pass on 3rd down. The Chiefs then went 3 and out when Mahomes aimed deep for D-Hop, and despite significant contact during his route, the referees did not throw a flag, calling it an uncatchable ball. To me, his path was clearly obstructed after 5 yards, and I think there should have been a call for illegal contact or even holding before Mahomes threw the ball. This led to the Chargers going 3 and out again after a holding penalty nullified a significant catch by Quentin Johnston. By the way, Nick Bolton hit Herbert as he released the ball during this play, and Herbert went down, clearly in discomfort. They examined his knee and provided medical assistance to help him off the field, and fortunately he was able to come back and complete the game, so it didn't seem too serious. All of this led to what many would call a rather dull first half, which included 8 punts. As you've seen, they were exchanging punts back and forth throughout the half. However, on the Chiefs' final drive of the half, they managed to advance 77 yards in just 9 plays. In a moment of excitement, Mahomes was hit while throwing on 3rd and 7, but managed to connect with Worthy on a shallow crossing route, who then advanced for 11 yards. Juju Smith drew a defensive pass interference penalty along the left sideline, and shortly after, Kelce caught a pass that brought them inside the 20. P. Ryan nearly fumbled the handoff, but managed to hold on and move the chains, setting up a 9-yard touchdown pass to D-Hop, who fell backward into the end zone, putting Kansas City ahead 13-0 with just 47 seconds left in the half. The Chargers attempted to make a play, but on the final play of the half, tight end Will Dissly was hit by Justin Reed and did not return for the second half due to a shoulder injury. That was an unusual decision by the Chargers. You attempt to pass in the center of the field like that with the clock winding down and no timeouts left. To make matters worse, one of Herbert's key receivers gets injured. This raises questions about the play calling by the Chargers, and I believe this was the moment the Chiefs could possibly lead 20-0 in the second half. Of course, you needed to secure a defensive stop first. However, as you will see shortly, LA found their rhythm and made the game quite tense and close for the rest of the second half. I need to discuss that incredible finish along with some potentially worrying insight from this match, and also a new cornerback, or rather a somewhat new cornerback that the Chiefs have just signed. In the second half, the Chargers seemed to make some adjustments on offense, as they'd done virtually nothing in the first half apart from punting the ball 5 times. The last drive of the half ended in a strange manner that I previously mentioned, but they managed to gain some momentum at the beginning of the third quarter. A series of runs and quick passes led to a 4th and 2, which Joshua Palmer helped convert. Jones then made an impressive play, disrupting a jet sweep to Darius Davis, showcasing his skill as a standout player. On 2nd and 16, Stone Smart, the tight end, made a high catch to bring the team inside the 10-yard line, with Amari Connor once again in coverage. Gus the Bus capped off the drive with a touchdown, which consisted of 13 plays and took nearly 8 minutes of game time. Meanwhile, Mahomes and his team quickly went 3 and out, failing to convert on 3rd and 1, which meant the Chiefs' defense had to return to the field again. Herbert subsequently focused on Quentin, with Johnson running deep, and Justin Reed drew a DPI flag that advanced them 39 yards down the field. Stone Smart did it again, this time outpacing Nick Bolton to gain another 24 yards along the left side. In just 2 plays, LA found themselves at the 11-yard line, poised to score again. On 3rd and 3, Justin Herbert had nearly 5 seconds to throw from a clean pocket and located Quentin Johnston wide open for their second touchdown of the evening, giving them their first lead. The extra point officially put them ahead 14-13, with the Chiefs trailing by 1 and 3.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. While I'm not fond of how swiftly things shifted, that's just how it goes sometimes. The Chiefs managed to find some momentum on this drive as well, with Samaje Perine executing an impressive 3rd and 3 for 16 yards. Catches by Kelce and Juju brought them into LA territory, and several runs by Pacheco pushed Kansas City inside the 20. They then faced the 3rd and 1, but not so fast, as Trey Smith was flagged for unnecessary roughness, pushing them back to a 3rd and 6 16, instead, a very costly penalty. Mahomes then took a chance down the left sideline to DeAndre Hopkins, who nearly caught it but was hit hard, dropping the pass and nearly a bit shaken up afterwards. We haven't received any information regarding that, but hopefully Hopkins is okay. I think he came back later on, so I'm not concerned about any long-term injuries, but I'm surprised that hit didn't result in a penalty, especially since it resembled the situation with Justin Reed being flagged in the game against the Panthers when he tackled someone at the back of the end zone during the two-point conversion. Additionally, we can't forget that Nick Bolton was penalized for a personal foul earlier in this game after making a hard hit. Following that incompletion, Matthew Wright successfully kicked another field goal, increasing the Chiefs' score. Nick Bolton then made a significant sack on Herbert. However, on 2nd and 18, Quentin Johnston caught a short pass and turned it into a 20-yard gain after Joshua Williams pushed him out of bounds, but something happened to Joshua Williams during this play. He was quickly replaced by Najee Johnson and taken to the locker room for an assessment, being listed as questionable to return due to a chest injury. Andy Reid spoke to the media today, mentioning that Joshua Williams is feeling better, but he was meeting with the Chiefs head trainer Rick Burkholder afterwards to discuss Williams' condition. Hopefully the injury isn't too severe, as the team is already quite thin at the cornerback position, which is why they brought in a veteran defensive back today who was originally drafted by the Chiefs some time ago. However, more on that shortly, as after Quentin Johnston's play, LA began advancing down the field again, converting an important 3rd and 7 to Joshua Palmer and eventually reaching the Kansas City 17. The defense held firm from that point, with Turk Wharton making his 2nd sack of the evening. This created a gap that was too challenging for LA to bridge. Dicker, the kicker, then successfully kicked a short 37-yarder, putting LA ahead 17-16, leaving the Chiefs trailing by 1 with 4.5 minutes remaining in the game, along with 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. Additionally, the Chiefs offense started at their own 40-yard line due to Cameron Dicker's line drive kickoff attempt that fell well short of the target area. However, Kansas City quickly found themselves in a 3rd and 10 situation after 2 incomplete passes, and this time, Mahomes managed to extend the play by stepping up into the pocket and slightly to his left, connecting with Xavier Worthy in the middle of the field for 14 yards. It's worth noting that Samaje Perine delivered a tremendous block and pass protection against Derwin James, who was coming in on the blitz. He took a hard hit in the process, but he ensured Mahomes had just enough protection to make that pass to Worthy. Unfortunately, the very next play following the first down, pay attention to the left tackle DJ Humphries. He attempted to make a block, but immediately stopped, limping and hopping on one leg. He then went down on one knee and was eventually assisted as he walked carefully to the sideline. After that, he did not return to this game. He was marked as questionable to return due to a hamstring injury. Wanya Morris stepped in and performed well to complete the final drive. However, the bigger issue is that DJ Humphries was expected to be the answer at left tackle as the playoffs approached. So how serious is it? Andy Reid mentioned today that Humphries is feeling better. I can't say how much better, but he is undergoing an MRI today for more information. Hopefully it turns out to be a minor hamstring strain, and he only requires a few weeks of rest instead of something severe that could end his season after just 1 game. Frankly, this might explain why the Chiefs reportedly did not intend to have Humphries play until the Browns game. However, the inconsistency in Mahomes' blindside protection forced them to have him play earlier than planned. Humphries, of course, stated he was ready. While injuries are unpredictable, the absence of a proper ramp-up, such as no training camp or preseason, undoubtedly contributed to this situation. All we can do now is hope that it's not too serious. In the meantime, with Humphries out and Wanya in, Mahomes then used his legs to secure the next first down. Pacheco then converted a 3rd and 1, allowing the drive to continue, followed by a couple of strong runs from Kareem, which set the Chiefs up with a 3rd and 7. Meanwhile, the Chargers had exhausted all of their timeouts, and the 2-minute warning had just passed. If the Chargers could stop the Chiefs here on this 3rd down, it would force the Chiefs to attempt a field goal, which, if successful, would put them ahead by 2 points. This would leave the Chargers with over a minute to try to drive down the field for a game-winning field goal. At this moment, Mahomes declared he would make something happen for Andy Reid and the coaching staff on the sideline. They executed a play where Mahomes moved to the right, dodged pressure at the last moment, and juked to the left to find an open Travis Kelce for the first down. It seems Kelce was meant to run a corner route but opted to improvise, as he often does, and ended up wide open, which is quite remarkable, showcasing the classic Mahomes to Kelce connection. We've seen this repeatedly. Consequently, the Chiefs were able to kneel down a few times and call a timeout with just 1 second remaining on the clock. Matthew Wright then had the task of making a typically straightforward 31-yard field goal to secure the victory. He succeeded, although it was a tense moment as the ball veered left and hit the left upright before going in for the win. This marked the 3rd kicker for the Chiefs this season to achieve a game-winning field goal, the 15th consecutive one-score victory for the Chiefs dating back to last year, and their 10th one-score win of the season. Additionally, the Chiefs improved their record to 12-1, clinching the AFC West title for the 9th consecutive year, and now hold a game-and-a-half lead over the Buffalo Bills, who lost the game to the Rams in a thrilling game with a score of 42-44. Overall, the Chiefs did just enough to secure the win against a team that has a top-scoring defense and managed to defeat a division rival twice in one season. I really believe that if they needed a touchdown at the end of the game, they would have achieved that as well. On third downs and in crucial moments, they are essentially unmatched, yet they appear quite average on first and second downs. They lack explosive plays but still get the job done. They finished 8 for 15 on third downs, converting 53% of the time against the league's second best third down defense. Mahomes performed well when not under pressure or being hit, and a crucial factor in this victory was that he threw no interceptions. In fact, neither team had a turnover in this game, with Kelce and Worthy leading in receptions. D-Hop followed with 4 receptions and a touchdown, while Juju, Noah Gray, and all the running backs also made some contributions. Speaking of running backs, Pacheco was the standout with 14 carries compared to Hunt's 5. Last week, they were evenly split at 7 each. It's interesting to see Pacheco taking the lead, with Hunt perhaps resting as they prepare for the playoffs. Pacheco certainly stepped up in his absence. The team averaged 3.8 yards per carry overall, including Mahomes' 4 carries for 17 yards. He was sacked 3 times and hit numerous times, but fortunately came out uninjured, which is a relief. The defense managed to keep the Chargers scoreless in the first half, but allowed Herbert and his team to score 17 points in the second half. Despite this, limiting them to just 17 points should give the offense a good chance to win, as they should be able to score more than that. The Chargers had several players perform well in the receiving game, with Palmer, Smart, and Johnston all nearing 50 yards or more, but the run-first LA team was held to about 4 yards per carry with their running backs. Overall, it was a decent performance, but they converted only 6 of 13 on third downs. The pass rush got to Herbert 3 times, but there were moments where he had plenty of time in the pocket as well. We need to observe more regarding the front 4. It's important that we keep in mind that the Chargers' offensive line is very strong. KC will face the Browns this Sunday at noon, with Jameis Winston confirmed as the starting quarterback. The Chiefs might also be starting Wanya Morris at left tackle and Najee Johnson in the secondary, depending on the seriousness of Humphries' hamstring injury and Joshua Williams' chest injury. Notably, the Chiefs have re-signed a familiar player today, bringing cornerback Steven Nelson onto the practice squad. He visited, passed a physical, and just like that, the 31-year-old veteran corner is back with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was drafted by the Chiefs in the 3rd round in 2015, and after finishing his 4-year rookie contract, he played for the Steelers, Eagles, and most recently the Texans. In 2023, he recorded 12 pass breakups and 4 interceptions, which is double the number of interceptions by the Chiefs leader in that category, L'Jarius Sneed, who had 2. He actually performed better after leaving Bob Sutton's defense and achieved his second best career coverage grade last season with the Texans. It will likely take some time for him to get up to speed, as he is now in a defensive system he hasn't been a part of since Spags took over after Bob Sutton was dismissed in 2018. However, as the Chiefs gear up for the playoff stretch, having this player in the mix will provide depth, and a smart veteran presence is always beneficial. I continue to commend Brett Veach and his team for their ongoing efforts to address weaknesses on this roster. I really don't see the Nelson signing as a game changer. I recognize that he had some difficult seasons with the Chiefs previously, and I recall feeling frustrated with him as well, but I attribute a lot of that to Bob Sutton and the overall struggles of the defense as a whole. I am certainly open to giving Steven Nelson a chance. Please share your opinions on the signing of Steven Nelson and your key takeaways from this game against the Chargers down below, and we'll see you next time.